Good evening and welcome. I am Amarachi Ubani. Tonight, Nigerians commemorate June 12th, the day in 1993 when the military regime of retired General Ibrahim Babangida annulled the presidential election, widely believed to have been won by the late Moshood Abiola. Activists ask President Muhammadu Buhari to implement the manifesto of the late MKO Abiola. Sarah asked the federal government to stand up to powerful oil companies that alleges have continued to abuse human rights of people in the Niger Delta with impunity for decades. And death toll in a shooting in a gay club in Orlando, Florida rises to 50. Today marks the 23rd anniversary of the day that has come to be recognized as a defining moment in the history of Nigeria's democracy and the struggle to break the grip of military rule. Particularly known as June 12, it commemorates the day in 1993 when the military regime of General Ibrahim Babangida annulled the country's presidential election. Widely acclaimed to be the freest and fairest in the country's history, the poll is believed to have been won by business mogul and philanthropist Chief Moshood Abiola. General Babangida, however, claimed the election was marred by irregularities. He said there were proof of manipulations through offer and acceptance of money and other forms of inducement against officials of the National Electoral Commission and members of the electorate. On that day, the former military leader said there were also evidence of conflicts in the process of authentication and clearance of credentials of the presidential candidates, but the annulment triggered a series of upheavals and protests across the country that eventually forced him out of office. Chief Abiola later died in custody on July 7, 1998, following his arrest and detention by the regime of General Sani Abacha for attempting to actualize his mandate. While the significance of the date is acknowledged across the country, it is mainly states in the southwest that actually recognize and mark it with some activities. There were a few events across the southwest region in Nigeria today to mark June 12. In Lagos, the Office of Civic Engagements in the Office of the Deputy Governor marked the date with a forum theme: democracy and inclusiveness, a basis for good governance. In Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, hometown of the late Moshood Abiola, the occasion was marked with a walk organized by the state government and special prayer session. A similar event held in Osun State, where civil society groups held a rally in Osogbo, the state capital.
It's 23 years after the June 12 election of 1993, and the Lagos state government marks the day with a seminar on democracy and inclusiveness, basis for good governance. The event attracts people from all walks of life who have come to honor the hero of the struggle, Chief MKO Abiola, and the values he stood for.
They arrested him, tortured him, and killed him. And they're living. Some of them are shameless. They imagine, because they still have the control of the instrument of coercion, they are still holding horse ransom, and they don't want people to really to talk about it. June 12 will continue to be relevant until this warped national structure is such reconfigured to make every Nigerian equal.
Meanwhile, in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, it's a walk through major streets to show solidarity for the struggle. This is followed by a special prayer session at the family house of late MKO Abiola, where the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Yetunde Onanuga, reiterates the state government position on June 12.
Today, because he's our son, we have gathered again this year to remember him and to commiserate with the family, because this is our practice in the last 5 years, and we will not stop doing this because of this. This father had done a lot in Nigeria, in Ogun State, and all over the world. And today, as we remember him, the Lord Almighty will continue to make him to rest in peace.
The case is not different in Osun State, as civil society groups, student movement and market women walk from one area of Osogbo to another, chanting solidarity songs. The core of the rally for the leadership is that due recognition be accorded June 12 nationally and the MKO Abiola's anti-poverty plan.
May 29 that they are clamoring today is a product of June 12. People died in the name of June 12. People that are ruling us today, they are the same set of people that are not June 12. But today the Nigerian masses are coming out again to also reiterate that June 12, they stand by it.
The slogan of MKO Abiola was farewell to poverty. The poverty in 1993 was not as unprecedented as what we have today. And that is where the government of the day should go into archive and see why and how Abiola want to say farewell to poverty and try to not only use their broom to sweep the opposition away, but they should use it to sweep clean poverty across the land in Nigeria. And that is what they must get right now, or else they may have people to contend with.
While other states in the southwest had no activities to mark the day, the Oyo state government has however declared Monday the 13th as public holiday.
A federal lawmaker, Senator Dino Melaye, says the reason why the day is not recognized nationally is because most politicians and those in authority do not understand the significance of June 12. He was speaking on our political program, Sunday Politics. In a similar vein, a former NADECO leader, Dr. Amos Aimba, says the same challenges confronting the nation 20 years ago during the struggle over June 12 still persist.
The June 12 struggle, for me, was a struggle for emancipation, was a struggle for freedom, was a struggle for the departure from the old order. And giving it that historical resonance by recognizing that date, for me, will have a very resultant effect in our political evolution now and in the future.
Why is it not celebrated as a Democracy Day or nationally? Because
not every one of us is a Democrat. Only Democrats will understand the significance of June 12. But when those who do not even believe in the tenets and doctrines of democracy find themselves in position of authority, they may not actually recognize the struggle that brought about the June 12 victory.
If you have a centralized system in a multi-ethnic, multicultural society that requires federalism.
But we operate federalism.
We do not. We say we
are a federal government.
We say we are
have a federal government, a federal system of government.
We say we have federal republic. We are neither federal nor republic. Are you not aware? Are you a republic?
We became a republic in 1963.
Really, with monarchs and all sorts of names, drawing money from the taxpayers' purse? You can have a republic in a monarchical system? You're joking. Federalism is decentralization. We have centralization. We are deceiving ourselves that we are a federal republic. We are neither federal nor republic.
The constituent unit in Nigeria.
That is just a name. That's the lie we sell to ourselves and the rest of the world, that Nigeria is a federal republic. We are not federal. We are not a republic.
June 12, 1993 is a date that will forever be remembered in Nigeria's political history. The result was a victory for Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola of the Social Democratic Party, who defeated Bashir Tofa of the National Republican Convention. However, the elections were later annulled by military ruler Ibrahim Babangida, leading to a crisis that ended with Sani Abacha heading a coup later in the year. In our next report, our correspondent, Oroluwa Shinibare, mirrors events that occurred before, during and after the presidential election on June 12, 1993.
It's another year, and the memory of June 12 is once again brought to the fore of Nigeria's political table. The issues surrounding what was and still described as the nation's freest and fairest election 23 years ago are yet to be resolved. The man whose name is synonymous with that day is Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, popularly known as MKO. In 1993, under the Social Democratic Party, SDP, he contested against Bashir Tofa of the National Republican Convention, NRC, and won convincingly.
It is true that the presidential election was generally seen to be free, fair, and peaceful. However, there was, in fact, a huge array of electoral practices virtually in all the states of the Federation.
But the election was annulled by the regime of General Ibrahim Babangida, a move that led to protests which threatened the fabric of the nation's existence. There was a condemnation of the electoral body led by Professor Humphrey Nwosu for allegedly allowing the election to be cancelled. Meanwhile, a defiant MKO stood his ground, refusing to accept the annulment, and declared himself president.
Assuming there was good faith on the part of government, all matters relating to the election should have gone to the tribunal set up by law for such cases, and should only have been initiated by persons or bodies that had genuine interest in the election. Instead, we are being told that the judiciary behaved so badly that I, Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola, should be penalized for his conduct. It is incredible. In view of all this, I find the conclusion unfortunate but inescapable that the federal military government is guilty of bad faith, pure and simple. No one has accused me of any offense against any non-electoral law or regulation. The people of this country went to polls on Saturday, June 12, 1993, and without let or hindrance chose me as their president. Didn't they?
This led to his arrest and detention by General Sani Abacha, who by now had taken over the reins of power. This led to more protests and the assassination of his wife, Kudirat Abiola. Channels Television followed the happenings all the way and relayed the pulse of the people. The back and forth went on, and not even the intervention of the international community could change matters. While in incarceration, Chief Abiola's health got worse, and on July the 7th, 1998, he passed on.
At this time, our preliminary opinion is that the death was due to natural causes.
An incident that led to even more protests.
I'm surprised and I'm shocked and it's still unbelievable. I can't believe it.
I can't believe that type of story. Yes. That he have cough. Yes. Heart attack. Yes. Cardiac arrest. Yes. Count me out. I will never believe it.
If Chief Moshood Kashimawo Olawale Abiola were to be alive today, he would be planning his 79th birthday come August 24th. But that is not the case. The man may be gone, but the date June 12 will always stand out as one of the most important in Nigeria's history. Orolu Ashonibare, Channels Television News.
In part two, after the break, more on the lessons learned from June 12, 1993 election. I'll be joined on the news at 10 by Executive Director at the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center, Mr. Clem Wankwo. Also, SERAP asked the federal government to stand up to powerful oil companies it alleges have continued to abuse the human rights of people in the Niger Delta. Please join us again.